those of you who don't know me, my name is Leanne Vogel. I'm a holistic nutritionist and high-fat enthusiast behind the site healthfulpursuit.com, and I help women regulate their hormones, balance their metabolisms, and generally be awesome by eating more fat. And today is Thursday Q&As. You all are joining me live right now, Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have Periscope over here and Facebook Live over here. If everyone watching right now is live with me, you can catch the, wow, seriously, today is going to be a difficult one. I was up way too late writing. You can catch the replays by going to healthfulpursuit.com/live. And we upload them all to the blog on Mondays. So if you missed a Q&A on Thursday, it'll be live on the blog on Monday. So you can check it out. And any of the things I'm about to reference, I'll include a link up here if you're watching this in the replay, or down below. Otherwise, I'll give you guys instructions on how to Google things, because I'll be talking about a lot of different things. So it's good to have a reference, and you can go to the Google machine and type it in, and you'll usually be able to find the resource. And for those of you who don't know, keto is a low-carb, high-fat eating style. My approach is a little bit different, where I'm focusing more on the quality of foods, and we incorporate some carb ups, which I talk about in a lot of different resources that I have put out there in the world. So without further ado, while we were preparing for the Q&A, one of the audience, I guess you guys could be called audience, asked about acne. Let's talk about acne, because I have an ongoing struggle with acne. My personal experience, they asked for my experience with acne, so I'll just run it through a little bit. I started having acne when I was 12, and it got so bad that I had so much acne all over my cheeks, especially. I have a lot of acne scarring from that, because I didn't know what to do with it. My mom put me on this tea tree oil stuff, which didn't help, and I was picked on a lot. So I went on, I can't even remember what the medication is. It's like high doses of vitamin A in high school. Accutane? Was it Accutane? I feel like it's Accutane. I went on 3 rounds of that, and it just made my face so dry. And I remember putting on makeup and it scaling off. It was disgusting. And it helped, it made my skin really dry, but it didn't actually help acne, and I just got acne all over again. When I went gluten-free and dairy-free, my acne totally improved. Dairy for me shows up on my forehead. When I have acne on my forehead, even just a pimple, I know that I was dairied. No ifs, ands, or buts. If I have dairy, even butter or ghee, it will show up on my forehead. Corn, now I'm sensitive to corn. I'm really sensitive to corn. So any type of erythritol, anything sourced from corn, even if it's super processed and it's citric acid or something, if it's from corn, it will show up on my face. I just actually started taking Natural Vitality Natural Calm again, and I got such bad acne, it went down my neck and all down here. I was like, what's going on? So I contacted them, and it turns out they switched to a corn-based citric acid. So I'm super, 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 super sensitive to corn. So for me, my acne is specifically joined with food. So the foods that cause acne for me are corn, dairy, gluten, any nightshade, except potatoes. It's my body doesn't know that potatoes are a nightshade, so don't tell it. Any sort of nightshade, garlic, onions, some of the FODMAPs, if I eat way too many avocados, yeah, that's about it. Oh, regular coffee, I can do decaf. If it's Swiss water pressed decaf, I can do decaf. And it's fine. I think that's about it. The nightshades, it's really interesting. Nightshades show up on my cheeks. The dairy shows up on my forehead. Corn shows up here and down my neck. Yeah, super great. But right before I ovulate, no matter what I eat, it all goes away. So I love ovulating because my acne gets so great. Nightshades, for those of you who aren't familiar, nightshades are, I'm going to try to list them all, but I won't remember. Oh, and chocolate. Chocolate does it to me too if it's not a good quality chocolate. Eggplant, tomatoes, potatoes, any sort of hot pepper. Bell peppers, I don't believe are nightshades, but they make my skin really bad as well. So those are the nightshades that bother me specifically. I think tobacco is a nightshade too, but when I was a smoker many, many moons ago, well, I don't know, it's hard to say because my acne was bad, but I don't know what it was for or what it was from. So keto can really, really help acne. Before I went keto, my skin was super bad, and I think for me, it helped because I was removing all the things that I was sensitive to. Like, you don't eat gluten, you don't eat dairy on my protocol, you don't eat a lot of those things that you would react to with your skin. Pork, yes, I do eat pork. Oh, bell pepper is a nightshade. Okay, I wasn't sure. I feel like I'm going to look that up too. A good chocolate is Gluconeogenesis. Yeah, the sweeter, both water and chilies and sweeter bell peppers are nightshades. Yeah, perfect. So I find Gluconeogenesis is the best chocolate. It doesn't make my skin bad. They don't want to work with the blog, and they're not really supportive of my business, so I don't really like to support them much because they won't really support me much. But they're really good chocolate. So yeah, ashwagandha is a nightshade too. So if you have adrenal dysfunction, definitely look at that. So I hope that answers your question. That's all about acne. I wash my face with charcoal bar. It's just charcoal and tallow. So I wash my face with that. And then I use Eminence Hormone Skin Line, and I really like their skin line. So I use the face wash, the toner, and the moisturizer. And inflammation can totally have a role in acne. That's totally a thing. So if you eat a lot of nuts or seeds, it can be affected. Okay, let's go over to Facebook Live. Thoughts about total carbs versus net carbs. Total versus net. Okay. I personally find that when I count net carbs, I'm able to stop stressing so much about fiber, and I actually want to eat more fiber so that I can eat more carbs. So for me, I really like counting net carbs because it's important to me with, I was diagnosed with IBS, which I know is like the trash bin thing that doctors just say when your gut is inflamed and all the things. But I find that my gut reacts when I don't have enough fiber. So for me, net carbs are really important. Total carbs, a lot of people say that in order to get into ketosis, you need to count total carbs, and net carbs are a total sham. I don't agree with that for my body, but it might be right for your body. So if you find like counting total carbs and going up to, say, 70 grams of total carbs because you had a ton of fiber doesn't help you get into ketosis and you don't feel good, then maybe you need to adjust that. So that would be my answer for that. Okay, let's talk about adrenals. What about adrenals? Let's get back to that question. Melissa, can you talk about your adrenals a little bit so we can answer your question? Okay, so there's a lot of questions coming in about sleep quality, which is also related to hair loss on keto. So the two kind of go hand in hand. If you're experiencing hair loss on keto and you're having a problem sleeping, probably your adrenals are a little bit imbalanced because your thyroid is a little bit imbalanced. And what happens is there's a thing called gluconeogenesis. And gluconeogenesis can run off, it's a demand-driven state, so it allows your body to build or create glucose out of proteins when you're not having enough carbohydrates. So it's your body's like backup generator to be able to produce glucose. What happens in a lot of people that have adrenal dysfunction before starting keto, or maybe their thyroid is a little bit weakened, in order for the gluconeogenesis to spark, cortisol is often encouraged in that process. So a lot of people that are eating keto for quite a long time, like, mind you, I've seen it happen at 2-week mark, so it really depends on your body. But say you're eating keto and then all of a sudden you're having a hard time sleeping or your hair is falling out, those are 2 signs that perhaps that gluconeogenesis pathway isn't working as it should, because your adrenals are imbalanced and because your body's not getting enough carbohydrates. And I say enough carbohydrates because, like, you don't need that many, but you also sometimes need more than other people. So some of the keto folks out there will say that you shouldn't be having all those carbs and 20 grams. And a lot of people will say that the sleep quality and the loss of hair is a detox, and that you will slide into ketosis and be awesome, and it's just your body's way of getting into ketosis or something. I don't agree with that. I don't see that happening. I experienced hair loss and inability to sleep on keto, like complete inability to sleep on keto. And when I had my numbers ran, they were a total mess. So that's where I developed the Fat Fueled program, because I saw a need of people getting into ketosis and then pushing themselves too hard and trying to lose weight and doing all the things, and then their health being affected by that. So I think that there's a nice balance between being keto and balanced, and somewhere in the middle is my Fat Fueled program, so that you can still be keto but also have good sleep and have a good thyroid and a boosted metabolism. So you can find more about my Fat Fueled program by going to healthfulpursuit.com/fat fueled. If somebody wants to write it in the comments, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. And if you're watching this on the replay, I'll include a link up here and also down below this video. Okay, before we get to our next question, I wanted to let you guys know that these Q&As are partnered by Organic India. You can find out more about them by going to healthfulpursuit.com/OI. That's in lowercase. And I love their sweet rose tea. I actually have some brewing while we're on this Q&A, so that when I'm done, I can make an iced Tulsi tea. They're the makers of the original Tulsi tea, so really good stuff. Okay. Okay, we already talked about the adrenals. Melissa confirmed on that. Can you hear Pebbles drinking right beside me? She's so cute. Okay. What can cause dry feet all of a sudden? A lot of things. Are you eating keto? Dry feet, eyes, and skin. Okay, so it's not just dry feet, it's like dry skin. It could be a fat absorption issue. I would ask your doctor to check your gallbladder and see how that's working. And in the meantime, I would, if I were in your position, I would probably start drinking a lot of sauerkraut juice and eating a lot of fermented foods, and that can help increase your bile production, which can help break down fat, and see if that helps. Oh, no gallbladder. Yes, I love when I get things right. So great. Okay, so you need to supplement with ox bile. You need to supplement with ox bile, like with every meal. Ox bile that will help break down the fats, because the fats that you're eating aren't being processed, and you may find that your stool is a little bit funky, like it might be a little bit greasy. Is Bubby's okay? Yes, it's awesome. So if you have a gallbladder, don't have a gallbladder, you can still do the protocol of having lots of fermented foods. Beets are also really great. The juice from sauerkraut, like the actual raw Bubby's, is a great brand. Unpasteurized sauerkraut, if you drink that, it will help create bile. I have no gallbladder. So your body can still produce bile, it just can't store it. So it's really important to constantly replenish your bile and make sure that there's lots available for your fatty meals. You may find that you need to eat like less in periods. So like instead of having the classic like 2, maybe 3 keto meals a day, maybe you're having 4, 5, or 6. So you can break up your fats, make sure that you're having fermented foods at every meal, and you should be set. But if you don't have a gallbladder or you're having a problem with digesting fats, I would highly encourage you to get an ox bile supplement. So I'll include my favorite up here or also down below, or you can just go to Amazon if you're watching me live and get that. I haven't seen that apple cider vinegar is effective in bile production. I don't know if somebody has experienced that. Oh my gosh, we're gonna just block that person. If somebody has experienced that, definitely let me know. I know that hot water and lemon is pretty effective, but yeah, that would be my thought on that. Okay, next question. How many carbs do you eat in a CBL day? I'm guessing that's carb backloading day. I don't do carb backloading. But if you're practicing the carb backloading protocol by Kiefer, he has a whole chart in there on how many carbs to eat. My carb ups now are probably like 30 gram extra, 30 to 70 depending on the day and how I'm feeling. But if you guys are curious, I'll include a link up here and also down below on carb backloading and what that's all about. I was eating beets, pickles, Bubby's pickles maybe, and someone said I was carbing up. That's not a carb up. Beets can be a carb up if you eat enough of them, but if you're eating a small amount, like you just need a little bit, you can have them throughout the day depending on the carbs. If you can get fermented beets, awesome. There's a question that keeps coming up about the soap. I just make it myself. It's charcoal soap, tallow, and charcoal. Yeah, I don't have a recipe because I just put it together one day maybe. How to know we are counting carbs right? What are your thoughts on using cheap alcohol breathalyzers to track ketosis? Okay, let's talk about keto tracking. Oh no, my pen is dying. It's a good thing I have a bunch of them. Keto tracking, and then we're going to talk about counting carbs. Okay. Ketone tracking. My favorite way to track my ketones is in the blood. I stab myself right here and test it. I haven't done it in a while. I do it like maybe once a month just because it's really expensive. I have not personally used alcohol breathalyzers to test it. Using the breathalyzer ketone thing that I used probably like a year ago, I didn't find like it was accurate at all. But if you find like when you test your blood, like your blood will be the most accurate, period. So if you test your blood and it's like ACE, and then you test your breath and it's on par, then you're good. But if it's not, I would go with the blood. And then how do you know if you're counting carbs right? Well, if you're really, really into counting carbs, you're probably going to need to use an app for that. And then those apps will usually only track total carbs. So you just put in what you ate and it'll track total carbs, and then you just remove the fiber from the total carbs, and then you have your net carbs. So does that answer your question, Elsa, about counting carbs right? Okay. Let's go to Periscope for an answer of the questions. Do you guys have any questions? The cool thing about Facebook Live is that it shows all up on the screen, so I can like take my time. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna go to Facebook Live because Periscope peeps ain't asking any questions. What do you eat in a day, for example? Okay, well, today I will probably eat, I have the sweet rose stuff doing the things. So I'll put MCT oil in that with my vitamin A, and I'll drink that in the morning. And then probably for lunch, I'll have leftovers. I have a bunch of zucchini, spiralized zucchini, and beef in there. So I'll probably have that. And it has like a ton of butter infused coconut oil, which is from Now Foods, and it's not actual butter. It just tastes like butter. So I'll have that for lunch. And then for dinner, also leftovers, because we have a lot right now. I made my Bombay Sloppy Joe recipe a couple of days ago, and I have that in the freezer, so I'll probably defrost that and put them on lettuce cups. So I'll include a link up here and also down below on my Bombay Sloppy Joes, because they're good. They're really good. I use Now Foods butter infused coconut oil. It's like a plant-based coconut oil. Yeah, so that will be today. There you have it, guys. Another Q&A in the dust. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. I really appreciate you guys spending time with me and asking all your questions. It's a really great way for me to continue to be connected with you. I really appreciate you guys jumping on. I hope I answered some of your questions. I love these so much. And I will see you guys next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And again, if you miss it, and you want to watch the replay, you can go to healthfulpursuit.com/live. I will see you next week. Bye.